Today we're working on a 98 Honda Accord. This is the EX model. Not that it's going to make a big difference for doing engine mounts. So right now where I'm at with this, we've got the new engine mount sitting down there. I will show you why we are getting rid of this engine mount. Here's my old engine mount. And you can see there's fractures, especially that one that goes almost all the way through the rubber. You can see there's only 2 points of rubber contact on this. And the fact that I can move it like that with my hand is not good. This will cause a lot of vibrations into the cab when these are worn out. And you can see, if I can get the right light, down the center there, that fracture goes all the way through. So this guy's shot. We're getting a lot of vibrations in the cab, so I'm just going through replacing a lot of engine mounts, starting with the front engine mount. That is a primary causer of engine vibrations into the cab, as well as the rear mount, but I am doing front and transmission mount first, as they seem to be the most worn. And so when you come to take this guy out, what it's actually going to look like, you're going to have this plate sitting down in here. So you're going to have this plate sitting here. This is the mounting plate to the engine, and then the mount itself sits on the cross member on the front. So there are 3 bolts in here, 14 millimeter. There's one big bolt that goes through the mount and the bracket. Looks like this guy. It's got a metal spacer to get all the support from the mount onto this part of the shaft. And so you're going to want to take this out first. This is a 17 millimeter. This was a bit of a struggle to get out. What I ended up doing was, it's not really a lot of space to get a breaker bar in, so I used a very large half-drive ratchet and a extension arm. I used a jack piece of pipe for like a floor jack and got it all the way up here so I could apply a lot of torque on this just to get it loose. And then once it was loose, I actually just used my DeWalt impact wrench and a lot of extensions to slide up from the passenger side and get up here so I could just impact it off rather than having to go, you know, little bit by little bit with a ratchet. That made it go much faster. Got that out, came here and took these 3 14 millimeter bolts out. These are pretty easy to do with a breaker bar. There's a lot of room to just pop them off. And then once you get those out, this guy should slide right out. Don't forget that you have your primary O2 sensor mounted here with a 10 millimeter bolt. And that is mounted in that hole right there. So that comes right off. You can unplug this. I'm just going to left it plugged in. And then you take this plate out, and that'll give you much easier access to the 17 millimeter bolt there and the 17 millimeter bolt right there. That guy. Those are really hard to get with this plate in the way. And again, I just used a breaker bar and the impact breaker bar to break them loose because impact wasn't given quite enough. And then just use the impact to drive them off. 3 bolts out, put the new mount in, reverse order install, and that's about it for the front driver mount. Give me any comments, suggestions. This is a new car to the fleet of cars that I work on, 98 Accord. I've also done a radio install if any of you want to see that as well, and that's an aftermarket radio install, as well as removing the tape deck, and did an EGR cleaning. The EGR was backed up, as most of these 4-cylinder and 6-cylinder models get their EGRs backed up from poor lining. So if you guys want to see anything like that, just give a comment, hit me up on in direct message or something like that, and tune in next time for the next video.